Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Zongwu Kaican. Zhu Yuyan opens Mecha. Qin Nanxuan traveled through the world of comprehensive martial arts, but fortunately had a jar system, so he embarked on the path of selling jars. Qin Nanxuan said, "There are all kinds of gods, weapons, secret techniques, and elixirs in the world. You have everything you need, and it's definitely worth it. If you buy it, you'll earn it." Dongfang Bubi said, "With just a missing person paper crane in the jar, I found my long-lost sister. I am willing to do anything for the shop owner." Lianxing invites the moon. "If it were not for the jar of the shopkeeper, the estrangement between our sisters would never be eliminated. In order to repay the shopkeeper, we would like to work together." Zhu Yuyan said, "Pooh, I don't even have a mech. What kind of master realm strong person is it? If the shop owner wants, I can bring my disciples along." Lu Xiaofeng said, "The shop owner's jar is really interesting. I am willing to do anything for the shop owner, just ask him to let me open another jar." Shang Xiujuan. "Does the shopkeeper like to ride horses? Let me open another jar." Zhao Min said, "This is the legendary legacy of Wu Mu. Indeed, it is infinitely mysterious. With this book, one can conquer the world." Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 17. The playful Huang Rong, Huang Laoxie opens the jar. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Use your mind to establish a connection with the ring, and then try to put the rice cooker on the ground into the storage space. Under the shocked gaze of Huang Rong and Huang Laoxie, the rice cooker disappeared directly. Really can be put away. Huang Rong, who personally put away the things, still had a shocked expression on her face. This small ring can actually fit such a big thing inside. She could clearly feel that the rice cooker had been received by her inside the ring. With a thought, the rice cooker inside the ring appeared in Huang Rong's hand. "It's amazing. With just a thought, I can put things in and take them out at any time." Huang Rong glanced at Huang Laoxie and tried to put chairs, tables, and other items in and out of the store, almost with a thought, and immediately succeeded. Huang Rong was like a child who had just received a new toy, excitedly collecting and playing in the store for a while. This kind of thing is definitely not something that people in the martial arts world can create. Seeing Huang Rong directly putting things into the small ring, Huang Laoxie's face was a little pleased. When this thing appeared, he didn't see any surprise or shock in the eyes of the shopkeeper, but instead looked indifferent. To be honest, if Huang Laoxie had such a thing, he would definitely have kept it for himself. Even if your loved ones want to use it, they need to consider it, let alone put it in a jar for sale. The shop owner not only sells it inside, but also shows no concern about it being opened up. Huang Laoxie had a guess in his heart, whether this shop owner was a celestial being or not. It seems that I was still conservative before and the situation did not open up. Thinking of this, Huang Laoxie became even more excited. In this way, there is really hope for resurrecting his wife. Qin Nanxuan could fully understand Huang Rong's excited state. The effect of a storage ring is to completely break their understanding of the world. A small ring can store 10 cubic meters of things, which they wouldn't even dare to imagine before. At least no one in the realm of heaven and humanity can do it. Perhaps only the legendary Shattered Void Realm can achieve the degree of breaking space, but it is still impossible to make a storage ring. Because storage rings require specialized materials to be made. Shop owner, what is this thing? Huang Rong may be tired of playing, looking at the perfume floating in the air. Qin Nanxuan took a look at perfume and said faintly, "This is perfume. It has the same function as the sachet and rose do you usually use. It can leave fragrance on you." Upon hearing these words, a hint of curiosity flashed in Huang Rong's eyes. Following Qin Nanxuan's reminder, she pressed the nozzle. Suddenly, Perfume was floating in the air like a mist, and the fragrance of peach blossoms diffused in the shop. Wow, this fragrance smells good, just like the taste of peach blossoms. I like it. Huang Rong happily moved her nose and smelled the perfume in the air. Shop owner, I need to open a jar. Seeing that Huang Rong's things had already been opened, Huang Laoxie looked at Qin Nanxuan eagerly and said. Well, you can choose. Huang Laoxie didn't choose for a long time like Huang Rong did. He chose only the jars that he found pleasing to the eye, and quickly selected 10 jars. After finishing the selection, Qin Nanxuan waved his hand and 10 cans flew out of the shelf, silently landing in front of Huang Laoxie's table. Huang Laoxie took a deep breath, relieved his anxiety, and reached out to break the first jar. Pop! The first jar was smashed, and something packaged with unknown materials fell out. Huang Rong poked her head and looked at the large characters written on it. Happy potato chips. Store manager, is this something that will make people happy? Although Huang Rong doesn't know what this is, the words on it can still be understood. Happy potato chips. Potato chips from a certain real world, a classic delicious but not greasy snack, suitable for watching TV dramas, playing games, and being one of the favorites of otaku men and women. This thing is just a small snack, and if you eat it, you will be very happy. After taking a glance at happy potato chips, Qin Nanxuan explained to Huang Rong. Huang Laoxie took down the happy potato chips and gave them to Huang Rong, who was eager on the side. Huang Rong immediately excitedly opened her pocket and took a potato chip. Click, click. It's delicious. Huang Rong's face immediately showed a smile of enjoyment when she ate it. Huang Laoxie sniffed the faint aroma of potato chips in the air and swallowed uncontrollably. But holding one's own identity, it's not easy to grab snacks from one's own daughter. You can only shift your attention to the jar. On the other side of the prefect's mansion, a figure hurriedly ran towards the study in the mansion, and even couldn't help but use their lightness skills under their feet. This person is Yang Qing, a subordinate of Wang Shichong. Sir, I have found out. I have already found out what you instructed me to investigate. Yang Qing walked into the study and respectfully looked at Wang Shichong, who was sitting upright in a chair reading. Oh, let's hear it. Wang Shichong looked up at Yang Qing. After a day of not understanding why this master came to Luoyang, he felt a bit restless. Based on my investigation, it is highly likely that the master with strong martial arts skills is the leader of the Sun-Moon Divine sect, known as the East Invincible. However, strangely enough, according to previous investigations, Dongfang Bubi was a natural peak of strength before, and the scouts did not investigate when she broke through as a master. There were no rumors in the martial arts world before this. Even more strangely, according to my investigation, Dongfang Bubi did not reveal the aura of his master's realm before. Until I entered a jar shop, I immediately revealed the aura of my master's realm and rushed towards the door. I also went to investigate that jar shop and found out that one of the 5 wonders of the Song dynasty, Huang Laoxie, was currently opening jars inside, along with a little beggar. I am worried about being discovered by them, so I have arranged for one of my subordinates to stay there and watch, and then come back to report to the Lord first. After listening to Yang Qing's response, Wang Shichong lightly tapped his fingers on the table, his face looking a bit ugly. He doesn't know why 2 masters appeared in Luoyang City in a row, but he must be related to that jar shop. Wang Shichong looked up and saw Yang Qing looking at him hesitantly. Why, just say what you have to say. Sir, there's another piece of news. I don't know if it's true, but someone said they saw a paper crane flying not far from Dongfang Bubi. Can paper cranes fly? Ha, this must be because he has been seeing ghosts and monsters too much and has hallucinations. Don't worry about him. Wang Shichong sneered at the news and waved his hand, saying, keep monitoring that small shop. If you find any abnormalities, report them to me immediately. Yes. Yang Qing nodded and turned to leave. To be honest, he was also very curious about why the two masters of the realm would actually go to a small jar shop. Luoyang City, a small jar shop. Pop. With Huang Laoxie's strike, the second jar shattered and a green glass bottle fell out. Shop owner, what is this? Huang Laoxie looked at the green glass bottle with an excited light in his eyes. This thing must be a good thing to be filled with such precious glass. P.S. Seeking flowers, monthly tickets, reviews Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Adhere to originality and eliminate non-compliant commitment letters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Adhere to originality and eliminate non-compliant commitment letters. I, Qin Nanxuan, guarantee that the signed work belongs to my own original work and I will strictly follow the Feilu Writers' Convention during the creation process. I will adhere to originality and eliminate the following violations. If there are any violations, I am willing to bear all consequences arising from them. 1. Ensure that the signed work belongs to one's own original work and does not involve plagiarism or plot plagiarism in Chinese translation. 2. Ensure that no third-party works or plot are plagiarized during the creative process. 3. Ensure that this work is first published and the only contracted website on Feilu Novel Network. 3. Ensure compliance with laws and regulations during the creative process, including but not limited to, violations such as not involving politics, not involving pornography, gambling, drugs, promoting cults, not ghostwriting, not blocking or abolishing manuscripts, not hosting, not selling works or accounts, etc. 4. Ensure that regardless of the word count of the work, the signed work must complete the plot, never end, and never stop or end. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 1. Avatar of Gatling Bodhisattva, Universalizing Everyone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingqing Sect, outside the door. Qingqing Sect, today is your day of death. I want your death to comfort my parents and the spirits of the escort agency. The one muttering to himself was a man dressed in plain clothes. The man had a youthful complexion, with clear eyebrows and beautiful eyes, and was somewhat handsome. However, at this moment, his face was filled with hatred, appearing somewhat ferocious. He is the last survivor of the Fuwei escort agency, the young leader of the Lin family, Lin Pingzhi. He is holding a card in his hand, which is his confidence for revenge and also his opportunity. After being exterminated at the Fuwei escort agency, he went to Luoyang to seek help from his grandfather to avenge his family. As soon as his grandfather heard that the opponent was from the Qingqing sect, he immediately drove Lin Pingzhi out. Lin Pingzhi felt disheartened and wandered on the street, unconsciously walking into a jar shop in a remote alley. In the end, with the idea of achieving success without success, he used all his savings to open 2 jars, and as a result, he burst into his soul. I opened a disposable storage card and a bottle of Gatling. When he came into contact with Gatling, the usage of Gatling came to his mind. He knew that his opportunity for revenge had come. Under the guidance of the shop owner, he put Gatling into the disposable storage card and rushed towards Qingqing sect without stopping. Use. Lin Pingzhi saw the card in his hand disappear directly, and then a dark, over 1 meter long weapon appeared in his hand. Lin Pingzhi took Gatling, a cruel smile suddenly appeared on his mouth, and walked towards the gate of Qingqing Mountain. He is going to blood wash this Qingqing sect today. Stop, who are you? What are you doing here in Qingqing Mountain? 2 disciples guarding the gate saw a simple dressed person walking towards them in the distance with a pitch-black iron object. Seeing the pitch-black iron object, they had a slight premonition in their hearts. They immediately drew their long swords and looked at the man with caution, issuing a warning. The man in front of the meeting showed a ferocious smile on his face, took a deep breath, and used his inner strength to shout loudly, I am compassionate and compassionate in spreading knowledge to the world. Bodhisattva Gatling. Today, I have come to transcend the heavens. After speaking, the man pulled the trigger and the Gatling in his hand began to spin. The 2 disciples guarding the gate saw that the situation was not good and wanted to take the lead, but it was too late. 222 Tuesday. As the bullets in the barrel shot out, they instantly turned the two disciples into sieves. The two disciples slowly lowered their heads and watched as their bodies were riddled with bullets. Then they felt a sharp pain and looked at the Gatling in the man's hand with fear. The last thought in their minds before their consciousness slowly disappeared was to spread compassion to the world. Which Bodhisattva Gatling was, and how could they never hear of it? Two disciples guarding the gate died with this doubt. The members of the Qinqing sect heard the man's roar, and the entire Qinqing sect moved. They haven't encountered such an arrogant person since the establishment of the faction. Senior brother, who is this person? Why is he so arrogant? I don't know, but after all, it will be a dead person, so there's no need to know. Obviously, listening to their tone of voice, this man must be dead. Because in their impression, no one has been able to leave alive after provoking the Qinqing faction. As they approached the gate, strange sounds came from them. This is not the sound of sword fights. Everyone walked towards the front door with confusion, but upon entering, there were corpses scattered all over the ground, all riddled with unknown weapons. The disciples looked at the corpses on the ground in shock, and couldn't help but feel a sense of fear rising in their hearts. That one who came to my Qinqing sect to cause trouble, see if I don't kill your turtle. At this moment, a man with different facial features and ideas walked out from behind the crowd. Obviously, he is the leader of the Qinqing sect, Yuchanghai. Lin Pingzhi, it turned out to be your turtle son. He didn't kill you last time, but he killed so many of my disciples this time. He definitely killed your turtle. When Yuchanghai saw the man in front of him, he was noticeably stunned for a moment before slowly speaking up, if you want to save your dog's life, just hand over the anti-evil sword manual. If I'm happy, maybe I'll save your dog's life. Upon hearing Yuchanghai's words, the disciples realized that the man in front of them was Lin Pingzhi, the young master of the Lin family who had escaped from the Fuwei escort agency last time. Obviously, they all felt that the hidden weapon in Lin Pingzhi's hand could no longer be used, so they appeared confident and fearless. So it turns out, Yuchanghai, you destroyed my entire family just for this exorcism sword manual. Lin Pingzhi looked at Yuchanghai with a cold expression on his face. I really thought it was because I accidentally killed his son Yu Renyan that led to the extermination of my escort agency. As a result, I destroyed my entire family just for the sake of a sword manual. The most crucial thing is that he doesn't even know what the sword manual he mentioned is. This is just one of the reasons. Let me ask again, do you want to submit the demon repeating sword manual or not? Yuchanghai looked at Lin Pingzhi with a smile, making others think it was just a conversation between friends. Lin Pingzhi knew that the man in front of him was indeed a genuine smiling tiger. He had no doubt that if he said a word of no, Yuchanghai would immediately attack him mercilessly. Of course you can, but I'll give you a gift first. A cruel smile appeared at the corner of Lin Pingzhi's mouth, and he pulled the trigger of Gatling's hand, causing the barrel of the gun to start rotating. Yuchanghai saw the hidden weapon in Lin Pingzhi's hand start to rotate and keenly sensed something was not right. He was about to use the Qinqing sword technique to attack when he saw yellow and orange bullets flying towards him. A strong sense of crisis suddenly arose in my heart. Directly use lightness skills to avoid bullets. If he were practicing the lost Tianluo step of the Qinqing sect before, perhaps there is still hope that he can escape. However, what he is currently practicing is only ordinary lightness skills, and he has no way to avoid bullet attacks. I saw countless bullets directly piercing Yuchanghai, who had jumped into mid-air, instantly turning him into a sieve. Yuchanghai slowly lowered his head, looking incredulously at his body that had been beaten into a sieve, then lost his vitality and fell vertically from mid-air. The leader is dead. Run quickly, the leader is dead. What kind of hidden weapon is this? It's so powerful, run away quickly. Many disciples watched as Yuchanghai was killed by Lin Pingzhi using a hidden weapon, and immediately showed a frightened expression. Some clever ones didn't wait for them to react and used their lightness skills to escape. Run, where to run? A wicked smile appeared at the corner of Lin Pingzhi's mouth, and he raised his Gatling and aimed it at many disciples, starting to shoot. Nanwu Gatling Bodhisattva, with 6 pure and depleted uranium bombs, breathes 3,600 revolutions in one breath, and delivers great compassion to the world. Remember, the one who transcends you is called Gatling Bodhisattva, who has shown great compassion in crossing the world. Ah! Help me! Don't, I was wrong. Lin Gongzi, I beg you, let me have a way out, it's all. Lin Pingzhi, Wa Chao and I. Just now, all these disciples gathered in the courtyard, but it was too late to dodge. Some of them were scared out of courage and knelt down in place, begging for mercy. Some were more stubborn and wanted to resist, but before they could finish speaking, bullets pierced through their bodies. 10 minutes later, Lin Pingzhi stopped his movements and looked at the disciples of the Qinqing sect who had all died, tears streaming down his cheeks. Dad, Mom, and everyone from the escort agency, I have finally avenged you all. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 2. Black Shop, 121 jars. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The shop owner really didn't deceive me, this Gatling is too powerful, isn't it? Lin Pingzhi looked affectionately at the Gatling in his hand, as if looking at his own wife. If I had met the shopkeeper earlier, perhaps my fate would have changed and I wouldn't have been slaughtered all over the house. Unfortunately, there is no if. No. The shop owner once said that his jar can open anything from the heavens and all worlds. Although it can only open 10, maybe it can open a way to resurrect the dead. Then my parents can. Thinking of this, Lin Pingzhi's eyes gradually brightened up. Then he began to collect and scrape the assets of the Qinqing sect with Gatling, which was easy to carry. Just like gold, silver, jewelry, and other things that are inconvenient to carry, Lin Pingzhi collected them all and hid them not far from the Qinqing sect. After all, opening a jar at the shop owner's place also requires money. Then he quickly turned around and left. After all, there was so much noise here that there must be scouts coming up to investigate. Shortly after Lin Pingzhi left, one scout after another rushed towards the Qinqing sect and saw bodies that had been sieved everywhere. That's Yu Songhai, the leader of the Qinqing sect. A detective saw that a person who could vaguely discern a human figure was actually the leader of the Qinqing sect, Yu Songhai. The scouts from other forces took a deep breath when they saw the tragic death of Yu Songhai, who was as strong as the peak of the day after tomorrow. Hurry up, go back and report to the Villa Master. A new type of hidden weapon has appeared in the martial arts world, which can penetrate the body and has a huge range. The Qinqing sect has been wiped out. The scouts from various factions glanced at each other, but this time they did not have any conflict. Instead, they turned around and left, reporting the matter to the forces behind them. The next day, the entire Jianghu had already become restless. This is the second time a massacre has occurred within this month. The first time was when the Fuwei escort agency was completely destroyed by the Qinqing sect, with dozens of people killed and only the young master of the Lin family escaped without a trace. The second time was when the Qinqing sect was completely destroyed with unknown hidden weapons, and there were over 400 disciples from all over the sect, but no one escaped. Have you heard that the Qinqing sect has been exterminated? Good death, maybe it's because I used to be arrogant and domineering in my daily life. When I offended that great hero, I killed them in a fit of anger. I think it seems like a wicked ghost is taking their lives. You haven't seen that group of people die before, it's extremely tragic. People are no longer formed. Lin Pingzhi hurriedly walked on the street with Gatling on his back, listening to the voices of discussion around him, all discussing the Qinqing faction's massacre. However, he didn't have the heart to listen to their discussion, but chose to continue on his journey. He only wanted something to revive his parents now. I don't know if the shop owner is still opening a shop in Yangzhou City at this time. After all, when I went to open a jar, there weren't many jars on the shelf. If someone else had finished opening it, I wouldn't have cried to death. On the other side, Luoyang City. In a remote alley, a seemingly desolate and dilapidated shop is located here. The shop is very ancient, all black in ink, with an ancient atmosphere rushing towards you. On the ancient plaque, there are 4 big characters written. Can Shop. It is not difficult to tell from the name that this is a small shop specializing in selling cans. In the store, the display is simple. An old counter with high shelves behind it. On the shelf, there are black cans with the same shape, 30 to 40 centimeters high. A young man in a black shirt was lying lazily on a carefree chair with his eyes closed. In front of this young man stood a woman in a red long dress, with a peerless appearance and a beautiful figure. At this moment, the woman's eyebrows furrowed lightly, and her cute and bright big eyes looked straight at the young man in front of her. Shop owner, how do you sell these cans? Qin Nanxuan struggled to open his sleepy eyes, and after glancing at the woman in front of him, his eyes drooped weakly. Can, 100 taels of silver each. But in my heart, I am considering whether to add a break time, otherwise sleeping comfortably and being disturbed can be very uncomfortable. What, it's so expensive. Are you running a black shop? Before Qin Nanxuan could finish speaking, the woman in front of him was surprised and interrupted. Looking at the young and handsome parents in front of me, who were selling some ugly black clay jars, out of curiosity, I came in to take a look. But what surprised everyone was that this store was actually a black shop. Buying a pottery jar for 100 taels of silver, I'm afraid only crazy people would choose to buy this jar. What is the concept of 100 taels of silver? It is equivalent to the expenditure of a typical family of 3 for 2 years. And even for those who enjoy collecting, it's impossible to buy this brand new and ugly jar to put back. If you say this jar is incredibly exquisite and has collectible value, and you say one for 100 taels of silver, then she can understand. But now this thing, which is not exquisitely crafted at first glance, sells for 100 taels of silver, which she completely cannot understand. My jar is different from other regular jars. Although it may be a bit unpleasant to be interrupted, Qin Nanxuan still has the basic qualities as a shop owner. Patiently explaining to the woman in front of her, in this jar, you can open anything you want or never think of. Martial arts secrets in the martial arts world, internal mental techniques, divine weapons and weapons, miraculous elixirs, rumors and secrets, and so on. In short, as long as you have money, you can open up anything, including the elixir that makes you become an immortal immediately, but the premise is that you are lucky. Think about something that 100 taels of silver cannot do in the martial arts world or in the court. If you open a jar with me, you have a certain chance to achieve it and change your destiny from then on. Do you still think this price is expensive? Since crossing over, Qin Nanxuan has been able to obtain cans every day and has his own store selling cans after obtaining this jar system. However, the most trash cans currently sold are all 120.1 black iron cans, which is indeed unfriendly to ordinary people. But it's definitely worth it. After all, there are all kinds of things inside this jar. Whether it's natural resources, earthly treasures, divine weapons, or even cultivation techniques, there's everything you need. If you are lucky enough to become an immortal, you can walk horizontally in this world, not measured by 100 taels of silver. Unfortunately, I can't afford to spend money to open a jar myself. It's just that I can get the same share of what others get from opening a jar. This is an undeniable benefit, as it eliminates the excitement of opening a jar and allows me to directly obtain something. But it's also good to save yourself and find ways to make money. Isn't it good to lie down and become stronger? But what can be opened inside the jar depends entirely on the luck of the person opening the jar. If you're not lucky, open up some useless things. If you're lucky, open up things in the world of cultivation or high-end technology, and it's like taking a step to the sky. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 3. Asia the Invincible opening the jar. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, as Qin Nanxuan sells more jars, the quality of the subsequent jars will improve, and the contents inside will also become better. And there are also exclusive jars, but you need to sell a certain amount of jars before you can obtain the owner's exclusive jars. A certain amount of jars, Qin Nanxuan doesn't know the exact amount. However, based on countless novels I have read before, it is estimated that in order to obtain my own exclusive jar, I may need to sell at least 100 jars. Even if it's 1,000, it's not a loss. Anyway, there's number 996 here, no overtime, no car loans, and the house is already there. You can easily become invincible while lying down and developing. Qin Nanxuan is already very satisfied. Looking at the Gatling placed next to the cabinet, Qin Nanxuan's eyes flashed with a hint of satisfaction. This is the only jar I have sold since crossing over these past few days. It was Gatling opened by Lin Pingzhi from the Fuwei escort agency, and after he opened it, he also obtained this weapon. Gatling is simply a man's dream, especially when he saw the nth drop of blood and wished he were the protagonist, sweeping everything with Gatling. To be honest, Gatling is a bit of a foul in the world of martial arts. Currently, the farthest distance for this Gatling can reach 1 kilometer, which is 1 kilometer. As long as this Nima doesn't encounter a top-notch expert who can suppress his momentum or come to your side in an instant, a Gatling can sweep the entire martial arts world. Of course, this is theoretical, but in reality, you also need to consider factors such as your opponent's strength, good lightness skills, and whether they will be poisoned. The most crucial thing is that this Gatling can be used by ordinary people, and it is an infinite bullet. Think about yourself practicing hard for over a decade and spending thousands of silver, but an ordinary person without cultivation can kill you by spending 100 taels of silver to make a Gatling, which is a terrifying weapon in the entire martial arts world. If we could develop some high-tech electromagnetic pulse guns or plasma weapons, the whole world would probably become chaotic. When Qin Nanxuan first received this Gatling, he was a little happy. There was a man who didn't love guns. But later on, when it was discovered that the Gatling could only click and did not emit any blue flames, it lost interest and was left idle next to the counter. Divine weapon, miraculous medicine, fun and interesting. The woman couldn't help but burst into a silver bell-like laughter upon hearing Qin Nanxuan's words, and then her face froze as she transformed from a cute junior sister to a domineering senior sister. Then I'll give it a try. If you dare to deceive me, I want you to look good, Dongfang Booby. Under the perception of Dongfang Booby, Qin Nanxuan had no internal power in his body. Either she is an ordinary person without any cultivation, or someone with higher cultivation than her, she can't see through. However, looking at Qin Nanxuan's lazy appearance, she leaned more towards the first type. Listening to Dongfang Booby's domineering and powerful self-proclaimed family, Qin Nanxuan finally opened his eyes, took a serious look at Dongfang Booby, and nodded. Choose it yourself, let me know once you have chosen it. Qin Nanxuan did not take the words of Dongfang Booby to heart, but rather was curious about Dongfang Booby's identity. The person named Dongfang Booby in Xiaoao seems to be the only one with such a powerful aura. It seems that this Oriental Invincible is a women's version, not a singer's version. It seems that I have come to the world of Xiaoao. That's it then. Dongfang Booby does not believe what Qin Nanxuan said, as magical things can be opened inside the jar. The reason why she opened a jar was to teach him a lesson and let him find a new way to make a living, rather than opening a black shop here to cheat money. So I didn't even look, just casually pointed to a jar. Then he took out a 100 taels of silver and handed it to Qin Nanxuan. Qin Nanxuan waved his hand and the silver in Dongfang Booby's hand came into his hands. The selected jar also flew directly to Dongfang Booby and landed steadily on a table specifically designed for opening jars. Seeing Qin Nanxuan's methods, Dongfang Bubi's pupils suddenly shrank and he looked away. She can also do this method, as long as she stimulates her internal strength, she can suck this jar in. But what shocked her was that Qin Nanxuan did not feel any fluctuations in his internal power. In her eyes, he was just an ordinary person without cultivation, apart from being handsome, but it is such a person who can deliver a jar to herself without relying on her internal strength, which even the Grandmaster cannot do in her understanding. But Qin Nanxuan did it, and she didn't even notice any fluctuation in her internal strength. He is definitely not an ordinary person. Has his cultivation reached a level that I cannot even notice? Qin Nanxuan's move immediately made Dongfang Bubi feel wary and his expression became solemn. If it's true, maybe we can find a clue to that matter. Dongfang Bubi's eyes were filled with a ray of hope, and his gaze fell on the jar in front of him. She is the famous figure of the Sun and Moon Divine Sect, the East Invincible. The reason why she didn't stay on Blackwood Cliff was because she had a secret that she dared not tell others. Many years ago, as an ordinary person, she was abandoned by her parents in the chaos of a bandit invasion. In order to protect his younger sister, he led the mountain bandits away alone. If he hadn't happened to encounter Duguqiu defeat at that time, it would have been a corpse by now. By the time I returned, my younger sister had already disappeared and had been searching for her for over a decade, but I still couldn't find my own sister. Dongfang Bubi looked at the jar in front of him with a hopeful expression. Qin Nanxuan once said that in this jar, there may be rumors and secrets that can reveal clues about his sister. The reason why I am willing to believe Qin Nanxuan is because she has just used her spirit to test this jar, but her spirit is like a mud ox entering the sea, disappearing without a trace, unable to detect the situation inside the jar. Thinking of this, Dongfang Bubi couldn't wait to wave her hand directly. However, out of caution, she didn't use her hand to strike, but instead swung out an internal force and directly smashed the jar. In this way, even if there are traps inside the jar, they can be defended and retreated in a timely manner. Bang! The jar was directly shattered by Dongfang Bubi's internal power, and a book fell out. You're lucky, this thing is quite valuable to you. Qin Nanxuan glanced at what Dongfang Bubi had opened up and said with a faint smile. Dongfang Bubi's luck is really good. The first thing he did was to open up a valuable secret. What is this? Dongfang Bubi looked at the books falling out of the jar and asked Qin Nanxuan. I didn't expect that the jar actually contained something, but she didn't touch it rashly. Instead, she asked the young shopkeeper. This is Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 4. Complete Sunflower Encyclopedia, Grandmaster's Realm Achieved. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sunflower Encyclopedia, Complete Version. A martial arts secret script created by a eunuch in the former palace that integrates attack and defense. He wanted to practice divine skills and wielded a sword from the palace. Even if you go to the palace, you may not succeed. If you don't self-medicate, you can still succeed. If I had known this, why go to the palace? A certain eunuch said, I never said that practicing this technique requires going to the palace. Don't slander me. Upon seeing the introduction of this secret script, Qin Nanxuan realized that the complete version of the Sunflower Encyclopedia did not require a palace. Upon hearing Dongfang Bubi's inquiry, Qin Nanxuan smiled calmly and said, You are both familiar and unfamiliar with this thing. It is the complete version of Sunflower Classic, not your incomplete one. Sunflower Encyclopedia. Upon hearing Qin Nanxuan's words, Dongfang Bubi frowned and waved his hand. With the traction of his internal power, the secret script came directly into her hand, and he began to read it. As an innate expert, it was too easy to distinguish the truth of a secret script. However, Dongfang Bubi became more and more alarmed as he looked at it. As a master in the innate realm, he could naturally distinguish the authenticity of the secret script. At present, the secret book in her hand is actually a complete sunflower scripture, and she found herself in an incomplete version, realizing the mistakes in an instant. Schwa. Dongfang Bubi suddenly emitted a strong aura, and if other experts saw it, they knew it was the aura of the Grandmaster realm. Qin Nanxuan never expected that after reading the complete secret script, Dongfang Bubi would directly break through the realm. Although I don't know the specific realm she is currently breaking through, I think she should be quite strong. However, it is also normal. After all, Dongfang Bubi is a peerless genius, otherwise he would not have been accepted as a disciple by Dugu Qiubai. Watching the strong gust of wind rising in the room, Qin Nanxuan frowned and with a thought, he suppressed Dongfang Bubi's aura directly towards her side. This is the second ability of the jar system. As long as Qin Nanxuan is in an invincible state in the jar shop, and the movement in the room will not be heard. This also led to no one in the entire city of Luoyang knowing that there was actually a person who broke through to the level of a master in this remote alley. After Dongfang Bubi broke through, his cute big eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at Qin Nanxuan. Who exactly is this person? Why is there a complete version of the Sunflower Encyclopedia? Just by taking a look and correcting a few previous mistakes, I directly broke through to the level of a master. What is his purpose in doing this? He actually put such a precious secret book inside like this. And this shop owner is not as ordinary as he appears. Just now, although Dongfang Bubi's mind was breaking through, she still felt the momentum of her breakthrough being compressed by a powerful invisible force around her. You should know that she has been stuck in the innate realm for a long time. Without this complete version of the Sunflower Scripture, she probably wouldn't be able to break through the Grandmaster realm in her lifetime. However, even if only the innate peak is faced with some early masters, they are not afraid at all. The profound foundation she has accumulated can allow her to break through and directly enter the realm of a master, which can be compared to some old masters. But that's just how it is. The shop owner downplayed his breakthrough momentum, and in the eyes of Dongfang Bubi, the shop owner is at least at the level of a great master. What is your purpose in doing this? Dongfang Bubi looked curiously at Qin Nanxuan. If the complete version of the Sunflower Manual in one's own hands were introduced to the martial arts world, the entire martial arts world would fight for this secret script. Qin Nanxuan casually put it in the jar, and it was only sold for 100 taels of silver. For ordinary people, 100 taels of silver may be their expenditure for 1 or 2 years, but for those in the martial arts world, this is a small problem. If the complete version of the Sunflower Encyclopedia is sold at an auction house, selling tens of thousands of taels of gold is not a problem, which is still the most conservative estimate. Dongfang Bubi couldn't figure out the purpose behind Qin Nanxuan's actions. When he introduced this secret recipe, it was like an ordinary person pointing at their own cabbage and introducing it, not caring at all, calm and composed. Upon hearing Dongfang Bubi's inquiry, Qin Nanxuan smiled lightly and glanced at her, saying, "My goal is very simple. I am a jar merchant, just to sell more jars. Of course, there is one more thing I haven't said, which is also to become stronger. Because no matter what is opened in the jar, he can get the same share. The cans are sold too much, and you can even open your own exclusive cans." Qin Nanxuan naturally hoped that the more people came to open the jar, the better, so that he could obtain more and more good things. Although I am invincible in this jar shop now, after leaving the shop, I am an ordinary person without any cultivation. In this era where martial arts are considered taboo and human life is like grass, Qin Nanxuan would not have stepped out of this jar shop without the ability to protect himself. However, he wouldn't tell anyone about these things, after all, they are his greatest capital for settling down. Upon hearing Qin Nanxuan's words, Dongfang Bubi rolled his eyes in silence. He didn't want to say anything, and even said these words to amuse himself. If it weren't for not being defeated, we must give him a lesson. Dongfang Bubi secretly tightened his cute little fist. However, everyone has their own secrets, and Dongfang Bubi is also wise and not questioning, but preparing to continue opening the jar. While no one else knows now, I will definitely have an advantage. In this case, even if someone discovers this jar shop in the future, they will still be ahead of them. Shop owner, I have taken all the jars you have here. Dongfang Bubi took out a few ingots of gold from his arms and arrogantly said to Qin Nanxuan, much like a wealthy woman saying to him, "Handsome guy, I want to take care of you." When the Sunflower Encyclopedia was just opened, Dongfang Bubi did not fail to consider taking the risk of catching the shopkeeper back. But just as she was about to take action, she sensed a sense of crisis enveloping her. I can clearly feel that if she takes action, she will be suppressed, so I can only choose to follow the rules and use money to open the jar. Although she is domineering in her behavior, she is not foolish. She knows she can't fight and still needs to fight, that is to go and die. Qin Nanxuan looked at the place where the gold was pulled out, which was indeed great. Then his gaze shifted to her delicate appearance and he spoke calmly, "I'm really sorry, one person can only open 10 jars in a week. You just opened one, which means you can only open up to 9 more cans this week." A week. Why is there such a rule? As you just said, opening doors for business is just to sell more cans, isn't it? I'm buying all the jars in your store now. It's a good thing for you. Why limit your purchases? Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan with confusion, she didn't understand the meaning of doing so. Qin Nanxuan became increasingly mysterious in her eyes. As she said, if other stores hear that someone wants to buy everything, they may even be happy to give themselves discounts. This shop not only doesn't offer discounts, but also limits the quantity. No matter who opens a jar with me, they can only open 10 jars within a week. No matter how much money is added, there is no way to open an extra jar. Qin Nanxuan helplessly explained to Dongfang Bubi. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 5. White Light Ball, 5 years of internal power output. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He actually wants Dongfang Bai to open these 100 cans all at once, so that even if she is unlucky, she can still open 1 or 2 good things. At that time, I can also become stronger and have the ability to protect myself. But the system does not allow it, and each person can only open 10 cans within a week. The most crucial thing is that the lowest price of this jar is 100 taels, and of course, it can also be increased. However, Qin Nanxuan is not foolish. How could he possibly raise prices? Gold and silver treasures are of no use to him. What he needs is to become stronger, not to make money. If it weren't for the system not allowing price reductions, Qin Nanxuan would even want to lower the price of each jar to 1 penny. In this way, more ordinary people can come and open the jar, and soon they will be able to dominate the world. But according to the current situation, it will take some time for oneself to achieve the dream of dominating the world in addition to the store. Master Dongfang, do you still need to continue opening the jar now? Qin Nanxuan smiled faintly and looked at Dongfang Bubi. Of course, he hoped to open more jars so that he could get more. But if she doesn't open it, she won't force herself either. The best thing is to stay in the shop for a while longer. She was not curious that Qin Nanxuan could know his identity, after all, he was the only one in the martial arts world known as Dongfang Bubi. Open it, definitely open it. Just 9 out of 9. But I would like to ask the shop owner, can you really reveal any secret information in this jar? For example, information from people over a decade ago. Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan nervously asking, this matter is very important to her. Her sister has been searching for more than 10 years, but she hasn't found any news yet. She can only hope in the jar. Of course, I just said there's everything in the jar, but whether you can make something good or not depends on your luck. After all, I can't guarantee that you can make something good. Qin Nanxuan smiled and nodded, affirming. Okay. Then I need to open 9 more cans. Upon hearing Qin Nanxuan's affirmation, Dongfang Bubi's breath became somewhat rapid as he slammed the gold in his hand onto the table. Obviously, she was eager to know the news about her sister. Okay, you can choose for yourself. Just point to the one you want. As for the money, 120.1 won't be too much or too little. Qin Nanxuan waved his hand and found that the total amount of 2 pieces of gold combined was 90 taels, which would be 900 taels of silver. It flew into his hands. Although Asia Invincible knew that the jars in front of him were the same, there was no difference, but he observed carefully and finally chose 9 jars seriously. After she finished selecting, Qin Nanxuan waved again, and the jars she had chosen flew out and landed firmly in front of Dongfang Bubi. Even though Dongfang Bubi had already witnessed it before, after breaking through the Grandmaster realm, he was still striving to perceive the qi mechanism inside. However, it was obvious that she had failed, and she couldn't feel any fluctuation in her internal strength. Her evaluation of Qin Nanxuan had risen to a higher level in her heart. Dongfang Bubi reached out his jade hand and smashed a jar in front of him, only to see a transparent bottle fall out and float in the air. The material of the bottle is lightweight and elastic, and there is also a transparent liquid inside the bottle. Shop owner, what is this thing? Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan with confusion, and this thing looked very high-end. Farmer's mineral water. Located at the top of the mountain, the source of water, we do not produce raw water. We are just the porters of nature. Water from Manas is rich in minerals and pure and sweet. Don't you really come and drink a bottle? This is a bottle of water. Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan eagerly, obviously feeling that it was impossible for him to be just an ordinary bottle of water. Sure enough, Qin Nanxuan spoke again under her gaze. The difference from ordinary water is that this bottle of water has high nutritional value. What? Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan with a bewildered expression. No, you can put this thing in a jar of 102. I can buy water for 100 taels of silver for this Nima, and it can be drunk until I vomit. Is this a small bottle that can be opened now? However, Dongfang Bubi also regained his composure later on. The shop owner mentioned in advance that there was everything inside and that everything he offered was his own luck. Perhaps his luck had run out. Dongfang Bubi doesn't believe in evil. It's impossible to have 10 jars of his own, all of these things, right? With a wave of her jade hand, several internal forces surged out and directly shattered 5 jars at once. The jar shattered, and in an instant, a stack of talismans appeared on the table, a white ball of light, a wooden stick, some plastic short whiskers below, a small piece of paper, and a scroll. It seems that you have good luck. Qin Nanxuan looked at the things that Dongfang Bubi had opened up with a strange expression in his eyes. Except for the white light ball and the small note, everything was useless. Rune paper. A rune paper that is drawn by a scammer in a certain world and is of no use. It is a must-have for scammers. 5-year internal power of a martial arts master. The 5-year internal power from an unknown martial arts master can be directly obtained by absorbing it. Broom. A broom in the real world, as you can see, is used for cleaning. Small note. Great compassion and compassion of Gatling Bodhisattva is the last words of Lin Pingzhi, a disciple of the Qinqing sect's Longtao. E.level ninjutsu scroll stand in technique. From a ninja world, it records the cultivation scroll of the most basic ninjutsu stand in technique in the ninja world. Qin Nanxuan looked at these 5 things and shook his head. Only those 5 years of internal power had a slightly greater impact on Dongfang Bubi. Even if she didn't receive the news on the small note, she could still find it in the future. Can you please ask the shop owner to tell me what these things are? Dongfang Bubi looked at the 5 things he had opened and asked Qin Nanxuan. She didn't directly go up to get these things, but first asked the shop owner what these things were. This is a pile of talismans used by scammers. It doesn't have much effect. Of course, if you want to become a scammer, Dongfang sect leader, this thing is essential. Upon hearing Qin Nanxuan's words, Dongfang Bubi unhesitatingly urged his internal strength to directly grind the stack of talismans into powder, wrapping it and flying out towards the door. Are you joking? The head of the Sun and Moon Divine sect is going to be a fraud, how could this be? Qin Nanxuan shrugged his shoulders without paying much attention, then pointed to the white light ball and continued, this is a 5-year internal power light ball. As long as you absorb it, you can directly increase your internal strength for 5 years without any side effects. What? Upon hearing these words, Dongfang Bubi's face changed and his pupils suddenly shrank. He looked at Qin Nanxuan in surprise and said, can you increase your internal strength for 5 years without any side effects? 5 years of internal strength didn't have a significant impact on her, but to her surprise, it could be unleashed in a jar. P.S. Seeking flowers, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, thank you to all the viewers. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 6. The Shockwave of Asia Pacific. Lin Pingzhi's identity exposed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The most crucial thing is that you only need 100 taels of silver to buy it, which is simply unbelievable for Dongfang Bubi, who has been practicing hard for more than 10 years. That is to say, an ordinary person who comes into contact with this white light ball can instantly gain 5 years of internal power. He only needs a cultivation technique to step into the martial arts world. This completely shattered the perception of Asia the Invincible. In her previous perception, a person wanted to increase their internal strength out of thin air. There is only one way, and that is to need someone else to transfer their internal power to your body. Usually, when the ultimate goal of a sect or family expert is approaching, they do not want to waste all their internal strength, they will choose the method of transmitting their internal power to their younger disciples, in order to preserve the strength of their family or sect. But even so, it is not possible to obtain all of the internal strength. After all, the transmission depends on the degree to which the recipient absorbs it, and what cannot be absorbed will dissipate. For example, in general, when transmitting internal power for 10 years, it is best to absorb it for 7 to 8 years. Those with poor qualifications may only be able to absorb internal power for 2 to 3 years. The most crucial thing is that it cannot reach a level without any loss or side effects. Qin Nanxuan just smiled calmly at the shock of Dongfang Bubi and didn't take it to heart. It was just a simple operation of the system. Dongfang Bubi reached out with a shocked and solemn expression to absorb the internal energy of the light ball. In just a moment, the white light ball disappeared, and Dongfang Bubi felt that her body had indeed gained 5 years of internal strength out of thin air, and she did not feel any discomfort. The shock on Dongfang Bubi's face was indescribable, although this internal strength did not increase her significantly. But what does this matter mean? It only requires 100 taels of silver, and you can transform from an ordinary person to a person in the martial arts world. In this world, there are still many ordinary people who cannot cultivate because cultivation also depends on qualifications. But now it's different. With this jar shop, it means that 100 taels of silver can make a martial arts person. The most crucial thing is, this is the internal power that has been unleashed for 5 years, if we say it has been unleashed for 50 years. What about 100 years? 500 years? It's not like you can instantly transform from an ordinary person to a martial arts expert who can establish a sect. And all of this can be achieved with just a meager 100 taels of silver. If this matter were to spread, everyone would be boiling and shocked. Dongfang Bubi subconsciously wants to arrange for people to block this place and prevent others from entering, even if it offends them, it doesn't matter. But on second thought, the shop owner originally opened a jar shop here to sell cans. If he did this, wouldn't it be that he wouldn't be able to sell the cans, which would offend the shop owner? If he didn't sell the cans to himself, it would not be worth the loss. Dongfang Bubi instantly suppressed the newly rising idea. However, it was decided to send a trusted confidant to monitor those people who came and opened the jar, and what they did to avoid being caught off guard. This person must be extremely loyal to themselves. After all, no ordinary person can resist the temptation of these things. The shopkeeper, if I keep opening the jar, as long as I can unleash my internal strength, I can instantly become a top expert. Dongfang Bubi revealed his speculation. That's right. Qin Nanxuan nodded and affirmed Dongfang Bubi's statement, but there is more than just the 5 years of internal power you have just opened in the jar. As long as you are lucky enough, you can open up the internal power for 100 or even 500 years in one go. Upon hearing this, Dongfang Bubi's pupils narrowed again. 500 years of internal strength, that is not directly ranking at the top of the martial arts world, suppressing everyone. Thinking of this, Dongfang Bubi's breathing was somewhat rapid, with magnificent waves and ups and downs. This is something she has never thought of before, but it seems like it can really be achieved in this jar shop. However, it seems that you have thought things too simply. Dongfang Bubi turned his head to look at Qin Nanxuan in confusion, waiting for the next explanation. Qin Nanxuan shook his head. It seemed that the Eastern sect leader had been momentarily overwhelmed by excitement. Actually, it depends on people. If an ordinary person has obtained 500 years of internal power, but they cannot guide the release of internal power and cannot use it, then what's the use? It's just that they have better physical fitness and are more resistant to beating than others. A third-rate martial arts practitioner who has been trained can easily defeat the opponent. The most crucial point is that even if he has practiced the technique, he cannot immediately control his internal power, and when attacking, he is completely unable to calculate his own consumption. But it's also possible that he messed around and released them all. If he can't avoid it, then there's nothing he can do. Not everyone can immediately and accurately control their own power after acquiring abilities beyond their usual level. You can only continuously control your internal power through regular cultivation to avoid waste. After all, when a master plays a trick, every point of strength is very valuable. Once there is a mistake, what is lost is one's own life. However, Qin Nanxuan is different from them. Once he gains power, he can perfectly control it without losing control of his power. Dongfang Bubi nodded in agreement upon hearing this. There have also been cases of exceeding one's level to commit murder in the martial arts world. Shop owner, could you please introduce the remaining items? Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan with expectant eyes. She was looking forward to the rest, but the shop owner said she wasn't very lucky. That must be for the store manager. These things have little effect on him. This is a broom for sweeping the floor. This is a small note that records the secrets of the martial arts world. I didn't pay much attention when I heard the first one from Dongfang Bubi. After all, I couldn't fully open up good things. At the second moment, her heart trembled, wondering if it was news from her own sister. Thinking of this, Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan with fiery eyes. Shop owner, what is the message content? The great compassion of Gatling Bodhisattva is Lin Pingzhi. The last words of this Qingqing sect disciple before his death. Qin Nanxuan told Dongfang Bubi the content on the note. The heat in Dongfang Bubi's eyes turned into disappointment. It turned out it wasn't his sister's news. Lin Pingzhi, I know this person is the young leader of the Fuwei escort agency, but what does it have to do with the compassionate Gatling Bodhisattva? Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan in confusion and asked. I can't explain this to you anymore, it involves the privacy of other customers. Qin Nanxuan spoke lightly. What, Lin Pingzhi is also a customer of the jar shop. Dongfang Bubi thought he was the first to open a jar, but unexpectedly, there was someone who discovered this jar shop earlier than him. Qin Nanxuan did not answer her question, but pointed to the last scroll and spoke out, this is an E.level ninjutsu scroll stunt. Open it and you can learn a ninjutsu called stunt. P.S. Looking for flowers, monthly tickets, and evaluation tickets. Thank you to all the officials and gentlemen. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 7. The Last Strike, Searching for Man, Paper Crane. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ninjutsu, from Fusang's side. Dongfang Bubi is not the first time I've heard the term ninjutsu, but it's all some crooked tricks. Different, the ninjutsu on Fusang's side uses internal power, while this ninjutsu requires the use of chakras, which means you can't use it even if you learn it now. Qin Nanxuan shook his head and briefly explained, but did not provide a detailed explanation of what chakra was. Oh. Dongfang Bubi nodded in confusion, guessing that this chakra was another cultivation method different from internal power. If the shopkeeper didn't provide a detailed explanation, he would definitely be able to extract it from the jar. The top priority now is to uncover clues about his own sister, and Dongfang Bubi looks at the last 3 remaining jars. Dongfang Bubi, who had never been nervous before when facing numerous enemies, even when becoming the leader of the Sun-Moon Divine Sect, is now feeling a bit nervous. Bang! Dongfang Bubi extended his delicate jade hand and directly smashed a jar. The jar broke and a stone fell out. The pebbles laid on the cobblestone road filled with athlete's foot. The pebbles from a certain health world massage acupoints on the cobblestone road, after countless people stepping on them without shoes, are covered with countless athlete's foot. Perhaps the massage has a miraculous effect. Looking at this introduction, Qin Nanxuan's face looked a bit strange. Where did he get this system from? Can he also get this kind of thing? Seeing Qin Nanxuan silent, Dongfang Bubi thought this stone was something good and looked at him eagerly. Many people have stepped on the pebbles filled with athlete's foot barefoot, which is useless. Qin Nanxuan frowned and gave a brief introduction. He has already destroyed the pebble in the storage space, leaving such a thing behind is a sin. Upon hearing this introduction, Dongfang Bubi blushed and directly used his internal strength to grind the pebbles into powder, wrapping them with his internal strength and throwing them onto the ground outside the door. Bang bang! Dongfang Bubi was so disgusted by the stone just now that he directly used his internal strength to break the remaining 2 jars one after another. 2 cans were broken and 2 things fell out. A square resembling pastry, 1,000 paper cranes. Seeing these 2 things, Dongfang Bubi's face looked a bit ugly. It seems that he couldn't come up with anything related to his sister this time. Sugar-free Sakuma. Snacks specially designed for girls who lose weight from a real world. How can we not have some delicious snacks after sports? Searching for people paper crane, disposable. It is made after the completion of the 9 Uncle Daofa, a descendant of Mao Shan from an unknown world. As long as you think about the person you are looking for with your heart, the paper crane will take you there and burn it at the designated time. Seeing these 2 things, Qin Nanxuan couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. It seemed that Dongfang Bubi's luck was quite good, and he unexpectedly achieved a final victory. The effect of this paper crane for finding people is quite powerful, with no distance limit. It seems that even after the completion of the 9 Uncle Dao technique, it will not be easy. Undoubtedly, it is a jar that claims to be able to open up everything in the heavens and all realms. It has already opened up several things from different worlds. Store owner, are these 2 things useless garbage? Dongfang Bubi looked disappointed at the 2 things he finally opened up and secretly thought that he was unlucky enough to open up 2 useless things. This sugar-free Sakuma is a kind of cake. Qin Nanxuan pointed to Sakuma for a simple explanation, then pointed to 1,000 paper cranes and said seriously, this thing is not bad. If you want to find someone in the future, just hold it and think about the characteristics, name, or birth date of the person you are looking for. It will take you to the person you are looking for. If a person dies, it won't go out and will only hover in place. Upon hearing Qin Nanxuan's introduction to Qianzhai, Dongfang Bubi was so happy that he almost didn't jump up. He didn't expect such a small and inconspicuous thing to be so powerful in the end. Let me give it a try, the shop owner. Dongfang Bubi was eager to try, but as soon as she lifted the paper crane, she hesitated. She was afraid that the crane would hover in place later. In this case, even the last hope will be shattered. Shop owner, you said I've been looking for someone for over a decade and haven't found them yet, but now there's an opportunity to find her in front of me, and I'm afraid and hesitant. You said I should use this. Dongfang Bubi looked at Qin Nanxuan in confusion and said, she wants to hear Qin Nanxuan's advice. This is also the first time she has confided her feelings to others, and she doesn't know why she has a relaxed mood in front of Qin Nanxuan. At the beginning, even if Qin Nanxuan deceived her, she was only prepared to teach him a lesson and let Qin Nanxuan change his livelihood, rather than killing him. If it were me, I would give it a try. If she's still alive, then if her hesitation leads to something wrong with her, it will make me regret it for a lifetime. After pondering for a moment, Qin Nanxuan expressed his opinion. Store owner, you're right. If something really happens to her, I'll kill all the people involved and have those who hurt her buried with me. Dongfang Bubi's face showed a fierce killing intent, and a domineering aura suddenly emerged from his body. What? Qin Nanxuan looked bewildered. When did I ask you to kill someone on horseback? Are you falsely accusing me? After getting the idea across, Asia the Invincible put Sakuma in his sleeve, holding 1,000 paper cranes and thinking about his sister's birthday. After a moment, a faint white light appeared on the body of the 1,000 paper crane, flapping its wings and flying. Dongfang Bubi looked at Qianzhai nervously and shocked. She didn't expect this small paper crane to really have such magical abilities. She was even more nervous and afraid that the 1,000 paper crane would only hover in place and not fly out. Just when Dongfang Bubi thought in despair that this 1,000 paper crane wouldn't go out, it flapped its wings and flew towards the outside. Dongfang Bubi was overjoyed and immediately followed Qin Nanxuan after saying goodbye. Shop owner, I'll leave first. I'll come back to thank you when I find someone. Then he used his lightness skills to keep up with the 1,000 paper crane. After leaving the jar shop for a while, he immediately released his master's aura to avoid encountering people who didn't have long eyes and disturbing himself. It's also for the protection of the 1,000 paper cranes. If they are shot down midway, Dongfang Bubi will really go crazy. Suddenly, everyone in Luoyang felt a powerful master's momentum moving rapidly towards the city gate. It's in another alley next to Qin Nanxuan. Oh, who is this person? He has a similar aura as my dad, but he's still a bit worse than him. P.S. Add more explanation. The grades on the first day of the new book mean a lot, and it may even directly determine whether it is necessary to continue writing the book. So kneeling here, I beg for everyone's flowers, evaluation tickets, rewards, and support. During the free period, each chapter is a large chapter of 2,000 words, definitely quite a few, and there is no need to add water. During the new book period, there will be 5 updates every day. Additionally, use some rewards as a standard for improvement. If the evaluation vote exceeds 100, one more chapter will be added. More than 1,000 flowers, add another chapter. Reward and add one more chapter. There are also monthly tickets, I need them all. Thank you all for your support, and finally, thank you, Brother MYH1358, for your reward. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 8. The sensation of Luoyang City and the promotion of the captain of the guards, Jia Geng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, a little beggar with a dirty face and clear eyes but with a hint of ancient spirit, looked up in surprise at the figure flying over the roof, and muttered curiously to himself. Listening to this little beggar's words, it is obvious that she is not an ordinary beggar. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that it was intentional makeup to avoid enemies. She seemed to have come out from this direction just now. The little beggar's mischievous eyes turned and walked towards the remote alley where Dongfang Bubi had just come out. She wants to go and see what kind of mystery lies in this remote alley. On the other side of Luoyang City, on the residence of the governor. The prefect of Luoyang City, Wang Shichong, is drinking with a person from the martial arts world whom he has just found a way to release, preparing to buy people's hearts and prepare himself for the future. Suddenly, a strong aura of a large teacher realm appeared in the city of Luoyang. The glasses in everyone's hands fell directly to the ground, feeling shocked as the master's aura suddenly appeared, and then rushed straight towards the outside of the city. What's going on with this aura? I'm so strong, I can't even breathe anymore. Is this the Master Realm powerhouse? Many people in the martial arts world felt this aura, and after it left, they began to discuss it one after another. Ladies and gentlemen, please help yourself. I'll excuse you for a moment. Wang Shichong said with a dark face, then turned around and left the hall. Inside the room. What's going on? I don't even know when a Master Realm powerhouse appeared in Luoyang City. Wang Shichong looked at Yang Qing, who was full of fear and dared not speak, with a pale face. A powerful figure from the Grandmaster realm appeared in their Luoyang City, and surprisingly, no one reported this to them. I don't know what's going on, sir. I have long followed your instructions to post portraits of Grandmaster realm and above. If the soldiers guarding the city discover it, they will immediately report it to me, but so far they have not received any news. Are you saying that this Master Realm powerhouse came in through other means and deliberately prevented us from discovering it? Wang Shichong frowned, and now it seemed that there was only this possibility left. Go and check when this Grandmaster Realm powerhouse appeared immediately. Despite this, Wang Shichong still had a dark face. Suddenly, such a person appeared in the city and he had not received any news. Fortunately, there was no malice. If it were someone with malice, I would probably have already fallen to the ground by now. Also, check again what he did in the city and where he went. Check everything out for me. Yes. Yang Qing took a breath and immediately turned around to investigate the matter. Fortunately, he was not blamed by the adults. Those with strong Grandmaster realm must immediately transmit this news back to the Manor Master. A servant from a restaurant wrote a note with solemn eyes and rolled it up. The note read, "There are powerful masters in Luoyang." Then a pigeon was taken out of the cage, placed in a receiver, and the message was conveyed. At the end of a narrow alley in Qingdong City, Luoyang, there is a green bamboo forest that sways in the gentle breeze. Within this bamboo forest, there are several unique houses, all made of coarse bamboo. Even the tables and chairs in the room are made of bamboo, which shows how much the owner of this house likes bamboo. This place is cool and quiet, as if it were two different places from the bustling city. In front of a girl with a stunning appearance, like a fairy's white jade, beautiful and unparalleled, bright and unparalleled, delicate and irresistible, was a Yao Qin. Duong. Ren Yingying, who was playing the piano seriously, felt the aura of a master suddenly appearing in Luoyang City and accidentally forcefully plucked the strings of the piano. But she seemed oblivious and widened her lovely eyes, looking incredulous. How could? Why did she break through to the realm of a master? The green bamboo Wang, who was weaving bamboo outside the door, also froze in action. His eyes narrowed as he looked towards the direction of Dongfang Bubi's departure, sighed, and continued to weave the bamboo basket in his hand. Ren Yingying hurriedly walked out of the room with a look on her face and said to Green Bamboo Wang, I need to go check what's going on. Okay. Green Bamboo Wang looked up at Ren Yingying and shook his head helplessly. Auntie Bingxue is clever and decisive in her actions, but once faced with the unbeaten situation in the east, she suddenly loses her composure. Ren Yingying directly used his lightness skills to rush towards the place where Dongfang Bubi's aura first appeared. On the other side, the soldiers guarding the city felt a strong momentum moving rapidly towards their city gate, and their faces turned pale with fear. The captain of the city guard immediately said to the other soldiers, move away quickly. The soldiers reacted to the words and quickly ran to the side to avoid colliding with the powerful master's realm. As for investigating this person, unless it's just a witty one, who dares to step on a horse and investigate a strong master's realm? If it makes him unhappy and slaps him to death, no one dares to trouble him. Even to quell the anger of this master, it may involve one's own family. The prefect will never offend a powerful person in the Grandmaster realm for the sake of an unknown soldier. Dongfang Bubi doesn't care what they are thinking, they only know that the people blocking them now are their enemies. How beautiful! The captain of the defending city guard couldn't help but have this idea at first glance at Dongfang Bubi. He then lowered his head in fear that Dongfang Bubi might find him looking at him. He was very clear in his heart that a beauty like this did not belong to him, and a few more glances could potentially lead to murder. After Dongfang Bubi left, one of the guards looked at her departing figure and said, "I didn't expect the strong master in this master realm to be a woman. You're not going to die if you step on the horse, don't take me with you if you want to die." The captain of the guard saw that the guard was still reluctant to part with the direction of Dongfang Bubi's departure, and put his foot on his buttocks. The guard heard his captain's reminder and knew he had said the wrong thing, so he immediately stopped speaking. "Just you, go to the prefect's mansion now and notify the lord that a powerful master in a red robe who appears to be in the Grandmaster realm has left the city." "Okay." The guard nodded and turned around to inform Wang Shichong of the news. "Captain, I don't understand. With such a powerful momentum, the prefect should have known for a long time. Why bother notifying us?" One of the guards looked at the captain of the guard with some confusion, and in his eyes, it was just a matter of multiple attempts. "No wonder you can't sit in this position. When you understand, you can become the captain of the guard." The captain of the guard patted the shoulder of the guard and said with great depth. "P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking monthly tickets, seeking evaluations. Thank you to Yi Ren for giving me a reward for my drunken elder brother at the beginning, and adding more." The previous chapter was about adding more for MYH 1358 elder brother. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward.